Hi guys. Just going to talk about what might appear like a controversial topic. So this is just for entertainment purposes only. It's just my own opinions. So you just take what resonates and leave the rest. Um, so what we're going to talk about is something that's more like from the Boomer generation, Generation X, and like sort of like at the back end of Generation X to Generation Z, there might have been a handful of Generation Z that might understand this concept as well. And that's like we like had a middle path where we would meet sort of people, even whether we dislike them or not, type of thing, whether we like them or dislike them. Um, and I just kind of like wondering, in a sense. It's kind of a bit half-assed because it doesn't really happen here, but I'll explain that later on. That in the like sort of bigger picture of things, it does seem like let's say like just like for definition purposes, like the rug of the middle path has been pulled out from society, and they're just left to two extremes, like far left or far right type of thing. Not that I'm trying to bring political terms into it, but just like the example that gets used on social media, I suppose. Um, and either side seem to have a syndrome where they don't want to meet into the middle to see like sort of, oh well, I'll just tolerate and put up with it, which is kind of fair enough if you like sit on one of those sides, which I kind of do in a sense. I can agree with one side more than the other. Um, so that's kind of like just a general gist if you want to listen to the video. So we'll go from there. So I'm thinking, because we like kind of talked about, even though I have to make it clear that I don't believe in this concept of the Earth splitting to 3D to 5D. Okay, but we have talked about it. Well, I have talked about it to you guys. Um, of the understanding that I don't believe in it. Okay, and I just think it's all stupid. And then we kind of like touched on the subject of like, well, it's just pointers for society of like a group of truthers, new agers, and all that stuff on one side, and normies, let's say, on the other. Um, I think it might be even gone like kind of further than that, but it's hard to say. Really, like I can't really define. Like the groups that actually fit into one side or not. I see like love and light workers, which would be considered new age, going into the extreme of the other side, because they're not dealing with the shadow work and stuff. Um, but I'm just thinking, like looking at it, sort of on that, what's like termed as like a bottleneck. So it's like use that for an example. Top where the bottleneck. Then you can imagine two things going into the bottle. There's just only like two sides to it in a sense. So you go one side or the other. It's a bad example, really, but it gets termed and coined and stuff. Um, I think like when I'm watching from the olden days, there was another concept before like this 3D 5D thing, and I can't really put my finger on what it was. Where there was supposed to be like a split in personalities on a similar basis, and then it got turned into this 3D 5D because nothing ever became of it at the time. Um, and then this like alien thing that's going about on YouTube, picking up trends and all that. I don't believe in that either. I have my own version of that concept. I think everything's from here, really. Um, I'm not like sort of ruling out that there can be things from outside, like let's say, our plane of existence that we relate to here. Um, but because I'm pagan, I like I'm obviously going to turn more towards like elementals, the fair, earth spirits, like ancestors, ghosts, and stuff like that. Um, so like I look at it and I think, well, if it's got two arms, two legs, a head, it's more than likely from here, and it could be like a black op program where things be mutated to look like aliens because that has been known to be done, type of thing. Um, so whatever has happened could be really like tough for someone like me to accept. It's like an outside force, if you like. um, but like we've had like mythical stories of like the elves, the goblins, not so much the pixies, but the trolls. But there might be pixie stories out there. I've just not come across them, where they like sort of try and like um, have a sort of war to gain territory, if you like. Um, it's usually more the goblins and the trolls and the elves that you kind of hear. Well, from my experience, anyway. Um, and I'm thinking, like I don't even think there's a way to like say any person who's gone through this like derangement syndrome. I don't want to put like like that present guy who gets put into that category because I don't think it's just that. I think it's just a derangement syndrome, and I'll just leave it there. Not to anybody. It's just a derangement syndrome where people are just go to extremes, and they're like, I'm not going to meet anyone in the middle, my neighbors or anyone. Um, it's my way or no way type of thing. It's like created a really big problem, which might go into another topic later. But it depends what the time's like. If the video's too long or not. Um, so like to speak from it from my own experience. Okay, so I've come from the middle ground. I still have that concept of like being brought up with good manners, to tolerate bad neighbours, to put up with horrible friends, to like experience getting bullied through school, get smacked by the teachers because there was corporal punishment when I was a child still. Um, Not that I'm complaining, okay? I'm just like explaining experiences. Um, all these things, like especially when you like got into your teens, there were like concepts for some of us, like for me, my family, there was like a sort of stigma, like don't get tattoos, don't swear, have good manners, and that stigma like continued on. Like when you once I like sort of grew up old enough to go into the workforce, even it was even come from there. Like don't get tattoos because you won't get a job. Don't swear because you won't get a job. Be well mannered. So it was like kind of expected of you. Where like I think it was like um somewhere in my 30s, I don't know if it was like early 30s or a bit later on, where I first heard that like people that stigma of whether people have got tattoos or not, as if they were good at the job, then give them the job type of thing. And it just became widely accepted. So I think I've got nothing against tattoos, and I think that's right. If someone's good at the job, then it doesn't really matter. And that's not really part of the topic, but I'm just like saying like from the experience, like what stigmatized me through growing up. And as you can see, to this day, I have no tattoos. Nothing, no tattoos. That's just a pendant, that black thing, and it's not a tattoo. Um, and I never will. I'll go out as I came in, kind of butt naked in a sense. It doesn't really bother me. So like I'll go outright. Um, I don't mention any of my beliefs to anybody. Like anyone who lives around me doesn't know what I'm into in a sense. They don't know I'm into tarot and ruins and paganism and all the rest of it. They have no idea. Um, and they're not interested in any way. Okay, so that's like another reason why I just don't bring it up. That you're going out into an army land out there, okay, and they have their own problems and things like that. So it's like, hello, how you doing? Are you keeping well? Um, Chat about just mundane stuff, the weather, the general goings on around the neighborhood. Not like talk behind people's backs. No, I don't really do that, but like just like, oh, the shop's opened up over there. There's stuff over there. I enjoy, or like I like walking to the park. So it's like mundane crap, okay. And in a sense, I think, for it's just my opinion. I believe that that's just respected. That like I don't create a conflict any further than that. Like I just leave it there. Everybody's happened. I haven't created like something personal of a belief or something that someone might have a conflict with in a sense. So I've kept all that out of the picture. Um, I don't really go political, so that's out of the picture. So I'm just talking like sort of generalized, mundane stuff, and that just leaves people happy. And I think that like again, it's just my own opinion. That's like just meeting someone in the middle, in a sense that I'm showing them that like my neighbours in a sense. I'm not here to create conflict, and they're showing me the same because they don't give me any conflict either. Just like they're standing within that generalization of relation, if you like. Like what I'm giving them, they're giving that back. So I just see the same like thing. So that's why I'm making that opinion that I believe that that's a middle ground. In this like particular theme set. See, even like you guys will know, like and you might have like better advantage of it than what I do. You can go to your belief structured groups of friends if you have them, like in the natural world, and talk about your opinions and the things that do conflict you, and without that backlash, if you like. It's still like that's in the middle ground because you know what you're dealing with and who you go to get there, type of thing. Um, I'd like to show you this tarot card. Okay, this is from the Green Witch Tarot. Uh, so I'll just show you the box. I know I've showed it loads of times, but guess someone new comes on the video, then and they're like actually interested. And anyway, this is it. Okay, this is 0 in this Green Witch Tarot. Sorry, I can't. I have to hold it at an angle. I got to keep the reflection up. So here, this would normally fall in to the Fool on other tarot sets, but here it's not the Fool; it's the Green Man, and it's a completely different concept. Even though it has like similar, not really, but it still has the man and the dog at the bottom. Okay, but it's a completely different theme, really. Here, there is no man walking off a cliff. It doesn't even appear to have. I'm just double checking. No, so he doesn't have his backpack either. So he's not got no provisions or nothing. I like this one over the Fool. Okay. Took me a little while to understand it because I gatekeep in a sense, like what my knowledge. So because I was used to the 0 always being the Fool, and I look at this and I think, well, where's the Fool in this? I didn't see it, and then I realised, sort of clicked. Oh well, this is not the Fool. This is the seed of cosmic beginnings through the Green Man. Okay, so the Green Man nature, the seed of nature, and showing you that despite it being beginnings, still the Green Man is old and wise because he's been down this path many times before. Even though, like, you could like look at this as a concept, like, oh well, this traveler here or travelers, you could look at it either way. It's just come like sort of to own this new farm that's in the background, and this could be his family. You could look at it this way. So it's a whole new beginning, but they have the concept of they know what they are doing because they've been down this path many times, um, past lives as well, you know. Or you could just look at it as like that individual with the dog in the middle, and the other two people. You could be buying the land on that, but the concept here, though, that I like sort of really about it is like from the fool, where he's on his own and he's jumping off a cliff, taking a leap of faith. Here, that's not actually happening at all. Because that leap of faith means that you don't know what the path is ahead. You've never done that path, in a sense. But here, even if you haven't done that path, you could still like bring like natures of behavior that you used to. Like you might be used to animals, you might be used to insects that you would come across in the fields, you might be used to growing things. Um, the chances are that you wouldn't really buy a farm if you had absolutely no clue whatsoever. But even then, you could look at this concept that there's others that are willing to teach you, you know, because you're not just on your own on it here. Um, you could look at this as like, oh well, you're bringing your family or your friends or whatever that how you want to see that. You know, you have others that you can rely on here, in a sense. It's sort of like the main like what I'm getting from the gist of the card that I'm showing you is like there's a guy here, and even like you can see like all you can imagine like all them fields, like including the gate that's quite close to him. Once he crosses that threshold, like each time, because there's a lot of boundaries that he's going to have to cross to get to that house. Okay, and each boundary you could look at the concept of an unknown. You don't know what's across that boundary, what's in that field, what animals are there. Um, but he would have had to cross like many boundaries to get to the point where he is. Also, so he has that wisdom, he has that knowledge. That's why it shows like the Green Man is like that old. He's not like, even though it's like a zero, the cosmic beginnings, still showing that old, that ancientness of is bringing the wisdom of the concept of I've been through this path before. You know, I could grow even from a seed. I could still see like the outcome of the old wisdom of the old man once I like sort of achieved all the skills. Um, so this like in the sense of like staying in the topic of what I'm talking about, like where you're meeting people in the middle. You know, like these people could have different concepts like political views, family values, even like expectations, but they have to meet you in the middle because they need you. 'Cause you're the one that's going to be running the farm, but you also need them, so you have to meet them in the middle as well. So there's a bit of like give and take there, you know. You're going to have to put up with their nonsense, if you like, and they have to put up with yours. And it's like a shake a hand, okay, I'm willing to put up with that nonsense because I'm going to get something out of it in a sense, like for all three people here, including like, you know, the green man, the nature man, okay? Nature gets to, how can I put it? Because I'm used to putting it in a sense of like the universe, like the cosmic nature, has to have you exist so it can express through you, and it wants you to have your own purpose, like unique to yourself. So you have a unique like expression of persona, if you like, or personality, if you like, or characteristics. different to everybody else. And because that's like what the universe needs. It needs that uniqueness that it like, oh, that's a such a unique concept. There's only you that can do that. It needs that type of thing, you know. Because you're the only one that can. No one else is willing not to put up with you to like sort of like crush you in a sense to make you fall out with them because it's like you're too valuable, you know, in a sense. So they know in themselves, with through their own wisdom, of course, as well, that they have to meet you on that middle ground. And nature does as well. So you could even look at it further, like the fates themselves will favor you just for the sake of you, like meeting people in the middle and willing to put up with all the nonsense. It'll bring like sort of nurturing things into your path, even though like you have to put up with nonsense to get it, type of thing. Um, be able to just like sort of go into the degradation of like sort of being in a sense of, oh, well, I'm not doing this. This is not my nature. 'Cause you don't know until you try, kind of thing. Um, and you're gonna have to learn new things because it's like the threshold all the time. Being like to meet people in the middle, you're gonna meet people with behaviors that you're not gonna be 100% happy with. The ones that you absolutely can't tolerate, it's okay to keep them people off your path. But the ones that like sort of are beneficial and have like the wisdom to meet you in the middle and you see that, you can kind of respect that knowing inside that they are putting up with your nonsense just as much as you putting up with their nonsense type of thing. Um, so we've got 22 minutes there. So I think I will go into the second topic, which is completely different, really, guys. So this is the concept of the great nothing we touched a couple of times. Um, and it's a concept from the Never Ending Story. So if you've ever seen the Never Ending Story, you have some reference. If you don't, if you haven't, it's just imagine that the end of the universe, everything collapsing in on itself and everything going to nothing, including your imaginations, senses, and everything gets included in that. If you like it existed such a time, so let's say. Um, I don't know if you guys have ever played a game called Persona. Um, Such a unique concept. Okay, it's a bit of a tedious game. But the concept and the story is kind of unique. It's not perfect, but like it'll give you like a concept of your face is the mask in a sense. You know, like your personalities, your characteristics are all masks, really, as such. But it puts it as persona, okay? So the persona that you're showing through your characteristics and your personality. Um, and then it kind of goes into the concept of something strange is like a liminal space in a sense concept to it. Something is out of the ordinary that pulls you into a place you can. I would like to say like it doesn't get used in the game, but the reference to me is like you're almost like getting pulled into the back rooms of the universe in a sense. Um, 'Cause I kind of agree with that back rooms in a sense. I've kind of seen it in dreams myself. It's different to like how it gets explained. I haven't seen the yellow rooms or nothing, but I have seen like the concept of it From what I've seen, through my own opinion, is like the universe has rooms, like a furnishings, if you like. So it'll just have like sort of a sitting room, like what you see here with TV, drawers, tables, chairs. Um, it could even be like pictures on the wall and stuff, things that you'd expect to see in a sitting room. But when you walk out of this sitting room, so it's like imagine you're walking out of a door, you walk into another sitting room, which will have like a different variation setup. And if you can imagine, like the everybody in the world who has a sitting room and how it's set up, as like it's like almost like created from and created to in a way. 'Cause I think it's like a two-way system to the universe. Like it has to have a sitting room in its like cognition, if you like. Um, Even though it might not match like the materium sitting rooms, if you like. It's just like a definition of like almost like as if like our own personas and our own shadows create is created this alternate, but it's not really like that. From my opinion, it's already there in the universe first. So it's got the sitting room placed there. It's just ready to be built by us as such as we imagine ourselves in it type of thing. Um, that's how I look at it. And anyway, it like comes from there first before it gets here. So it has to be there type of thing. Otherwise, we could never imagine it to be there type of thing. But I still think it's like a two-way thing. But if you understand, like it has to be there first before it gets here, type of thing. Otherwise, we could never imagine it. But at the same time, it needs us to express the imaginings through like our own preferences, if you like. You know, because there won't be a sitting room quite like mine. There might be similarities like within the material world and the universal like cognition of, if that's the right word, um, setup of having a TV room, like a sitting room in its placement. It won't match here either. There's only just this one place where I am, if you like. But it'll have the objects, but just not set up exactly the same. Um, but from my like own concept of it, I think like like it does have like a barrenness of it, so things start disappearing in a sense. Not well, it's not like it disappeared. It's almost like you go to the sitting room and you'll only see a TV there instead of all the drawers and furnishings and all that. And then you walk out the room and you walk into another sitting room, you might only see a chair there. You walk out that room somewhere else and you go into another sitting room. Let's just carry on to infinity type of thing. And it might be just a set of drawers there. So it's like kind of ends up being like barren and derelict type of look to it. Um and it just like continues like through several infinities of different setups with lots missing type of thing. Um And if you could actually break out of that infinity loop, which it's possible because I've done it as well in the dreams, so you could like break out of that loop and walk into another back room. And if you walk into another back room, that's just for example, now it's like swimming pools. So you go in and it'd be like an infant swim pool for a small child in one room. You go into another room and there'd be a swimming pool for adults. You go to another room, there could be like a hot tub. Go to another room, there's like a jacuzzi, and just keep coming across like all these different variations of like water tubs, let's say. Um, and that could go on for infinity too until you break that like back room and you go to another back room, where it's like the one like you get to see on YouTube where it's just like a kind of warehouse of shopping malls type of thing. Um, but I've even like been into like a place like in there where it was just like warehouses outside, inside also, where you could like walk outside, like and it just looked like it had sky and everything, but you were still in the back room, so you'd be in the warehouse. Epic's like you like see rusty beam bars like broken down and stuff, and like sort of old cabins just rusted away almost, but you could make them out still, kind of thing. They're just like sort of rotted away in nature type of thing. Half the roof gone, so you could see the sky and then walk out. There'd be trees around, no buildings, but you would never see because like you just walk into another room and normally kind of thing. Even though you're outside, you walk into another warehouse. So go outside and inside. So it's like that as well. So I'd imagine like there's even places there in them back rooms where you would walk from one field to the next field outside and you'd be stuck outside forever. You'd never find a building type of thing. you know, it's like seems like a crazy long-winded concept, but just to get the point across, like because my like version's different from the Persona game that I was mentioning earlier, but you get like that concept of that back room theme in there, and then the other one I'm sort of a bit unfamiliar with in a sense. When it has like social bonds in the game, um, and when you have like a social bond, it gets connected to one of the 25 major arcanas from the tarot. So it could be like justice, judgment. To one person, it'll be like give you like a judgment card, and then that like that bond strengthens on that card type of thing. I haven't really worked that one out what that would be, but um, just for that concept in anyway. Sorry guys, it was so long winded, but just for that like concept of it, like the great nothing, like in a sense that has everything also, because you have to have absolutely nothing to have something type of thing. Um, it's a really strange one because like in my opinion, again, like I think that we need to understand, like, well, like for me, like I'm not trying to suggest it to you guys. I just have to speak this way, like that. We need to like have the cognition to understand like our senses for one, like how we're feeling, how we taste and smell and hear and seeing, because all them different senses give us the perception like through their own senses type of thing. So there's five different perceptions that like filter into the inner eye, which is the sixth sense, to give us the inner dialogue to break down the experience through expression, if you like. We need that cognition to the imaginations of consciousness to define existence with the experience of our own existence, whether it be egotistical or not. Obviously, I think you got to be careful there. Um, but I don't think it's a bad thing having an ego, if you know what I mean. Just got to be careful that it doesn't like sort of override you in the sense that you keep your sort of like reins on the chariot, if you like, like as you're riding through the fate of like your existence, if you like. And I kind of like see like like it explains it through the never ending story that if you don't have imagination, then the great nothing takes over and destroys like the universe, the world, yourself type of thing. Um, it's pretty close to how I feel about it, because I think like I could see, especially through experience, like how people have shut down in themselves when they like lose loved ones, the or lose like whether it be like just like separation or passing away. Um, that like some in a sense, you could like say like the shadows distorted the personality of the persona because they're unable to deal with that, which is understandable in most circumstances. But you have to deal with it if you're still existent, kind of thing. Um, I just think like like when once that shutdown starts happening and the senses lose cognition with the personality, the persona, the characteristics of expression through oneself, then you could like kind of see like how the nothing would overcome like an individual person, if you like, um, to the point of their detriment, to pass away, sort of thing. Because just like purposeless nothingness. Um, but I do also like kind of see it in a sense of like through like the expression of the universe. If the universe needs you to exist to have a purpose, if you lose purpose, then the universe does no longer need you to exist, type of thing. So I can see from that side of it as well, where like the nothing can come in from the universe side of it. I mean, I really can. I know I'm just explaining it in a individual sense, but I could actually see this happening on like on a wider scale as well. Um, if that middle ground rug has been pulled from sociality through psyops, such as aliens, the 3D, 5D split, and everything's that getting shoved in your face type of thing, the wars and all that. Being whether you're racist or not type of thing. Just because you automatically placed as a racist these days just because of your skin color. Doesn't matter what color you are, because you're to be seen that you are just for the sake of your skin color that you're automatically categorized as having an opinion against someone who's a opposite skin color, but that might not be the case. But you just get put there anyway, type of thing, by sociality, which like drives you like shadow kind of a bit mad in a sense, unless you're like just dealing with it and accepting just like your own self type of thing, your own nature. Like, well, no, you could put like people always like put opinions in there, like we all have red blood type of thing. Um, we could work together type of thing, if we need to. We could get along if we need to, and all the rest of it. Um, but it's the stack goes for our own color. People of our own color, like if you like, we don't think the same things with them. Such other people with different skin colors. But that's just being forced upon society, regardless if you like, you're a racist just because of your skin color when you have not even said nothing, you've not even made an opinion. Um, it's like an automatic. You like if you don't know any better, you're just going to put yourself that you're automatically in that division, like subconsciously in a sense, without really knowing about it. Um, It's just like just one angle of the degradation that society's like put upon itself in a sense, um, but it's put upon others also, kind of thing. Um, and that degradation has an effect to the shadow, um, because it doesn't want to deal with that. It's not of its real nature. It's not of its true nature. So it's got two options. It either faces the shadow and accepts that that's not the case. Like, well, no, I am never voiced my racism to someone of another color. I've actually worked with people and just seen them as the same as me. The problems, um, They just want to get by, just the exact same as me. You know? So I don't create any sort of confrontations or any tensions if I, as best as I possibly can. And I see them doing the same for me because they have that own sort of standoffish or not, with people I've met, they never have, but you know, some people, I guess it does. So I'm just mentioning it. Um, I know it's like kind of tedious way roundabout to get into the point, but all these like little facets happen like let's say a psyop like operation, if you want to look at it that way, um, effect upon like people just. I've even done it myself sometimes because I fuck up as well. Like I listen to something I don't agree with, and it's sort of fuck that type of thing, or like sort of to get a bit aggravated, and then like sort of forget myself in that moment. Well, that's not me. That's not my nature. It doesn't matter if that opinion like sort of defining whatever I think. Um, we can't be helped in a sense as well because like we're getting pushed with things like digital ID that nobody wants. The AI is going to be our new conscience, if you like, which we don't need. We have our own sort of imaginings to do things, and we don't need AI to help us write a book. We could do it ourselves, and it's better if we do. We don't like need AI to draw pictures for us. It's better if we could do it ourselves. Have meddled with it, unfortunately. Um, I've seen like benefits of it in a sense, but I'm trying to obviously break that because I see the degradation of it also. Um, we must do it ourselves, despite our the facet AI has. If it's doing that much damage to the earth, like poisoning our water and that, we can't have this thing, even if it helps us, kind of thing. There has to be another way. Um, it's just my opinion, Um, but it's not just that, I know. I'm just showing you like a tension I have. Like, okay, I don't really want that tension. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't live near, like, fortunately for me, I don't live near a data center, so I don't get affected by the water and stuff like that. Um, and I wouldn't want to either, to be honest. They sound an absolute nightmare. Um, it's not just the water, it's the noise they give up and everything else. The heavy metals that they're releasing into the air and all that crap. Um, so you could see, like, through me making my own opinion there, that I've got a real stigma, attention there, like that scares me really. I try not to let it scare me because that fear of it can like be to my own detriment, if you like. That it will create like tensions within myself of aggregation, paranoia, stigmata, sort of like against like governments and things like that, corporations, feeling like as if I'm losing a privacy right, which I don't even have to start with, type of thing. You like it really don't type of thing. You would believe like I'll because if you turn off your phone, and you don't interact through the digital world, and you just go down the pub, you still can only say certain things. So you're already sensitized in any way without all that going on. Um, it's just about when it comes to the self, like when you really face yourself, if you can sort of not do that, not sensitize yourself to yourself, it's tricky because we do gatekeep our own beliefs and our own faiths and our own expressions and personalities as well. And it's a balance thing. Okay, some things will keep you safe to gatekeep, and other things like override into a detriment without you really knowing, sort of thing. It's just a matter of like using your own wisdom to sort all that sort of stuff out, you know. Um, but it's like the distortion of it that ends up creating like the scatty, like where you can't think straight, you can't talk straight, you can't even see straight, and your senses have become distorted, so you can't feel straight, you can't taste straight. Even though like that's such a hard thing to define, it actually is happening in a sense. Um, and that distortion, that scattiness, it breaks us apart into nothing really. So like sort of like the end result for me would be like sort of to explain it would be it'd be almost like your spirit of will has no will anymore, and it just separates out in all directions because it's got no content anymore. You know, it's got no soul anymore, and nothing could take its soul in any way. So all this evil stuff that thinks it can get a soul, it can't because it just disperses into energy and it just goes into the ether, back where it came from, type of thing. And it could take like millions upon millions of years, if ever, to bring itself back together to formalize a purpose again. You know. Because it's going to be constantly fighting with itself, constantly separating it with itself, type of thing. That nothing gets in, if you like. Um, and there's only two ways that's going to go. You're either going to be like sort of slowly through millions of years fighting to even believe that you have a purpose to begin with, but and then figure out what the actual purpose is as well. You have to do it all in one go, type of thing. Um, the other is that your spirit keeps separated out. Okay, it becomes absolute nothing, and it's only at that very point where it becomes absolute nothing that it snaps in like elastic band, type of thing. Because by becoming absolute nothing, it has to become something, so it just snaps back in place, type of thing. So they're the only two sort of extremes in a sense. They're both extremes. Um, the other way, like the third way, is the hardest of them all, type of thing, because you have to go in broken, completely broken. Okay, this is like the story of the never-ending story as well. It's really good, the never-ending story, if you've never seen it, to a pagan, or even a person who would like to look at the universe, face someone's self shadow. Um, this is the whole like story, really. Like everything that's in there, like that the guy who's reading the book, the little kid who's reading the book, is constantly facing himself through different characters and personalities and the things that are going on, you know. But also like points out that that's the case, type of thing. So like comes across an oracle where it has to, you have no choice but to face yourself, type of thing. And if you can't do it, it'll destroy you. um, and I think that oracle, like from my opinion, obviously, like that oracle is your own inner dialect. You know, when you're actually facing your shadow, are you going to meet it face to face or not? If you don't, it destroys you. If you're not dealing with it, it just comes back twice as strong. It just keeps doing it until it overtakes you, type of thing. And then you just become distorted before you like fade out, type of thing. Um, but you like you lose everything in a sense. You know, you lose your sense of family, friendship. even your sense of self. Like, what do you mean to this world? If you don't have a purpose yourself, then you can easily see it, or if you've just come to light of a purpose as well, like within yourself, so you've been through it, so you know exactly what's like, even that way, or if you're just someone who's been brought up really well and you've always had a purpose, then you're really lucky, but you could still maybe see like the point of view of like a lot of people, because you might see through the reflection of other people, who don't have a purpose, no meaning to their lives. They're just like in the rat race, just doing it for the sake of doing it. And that's not a purpose. Just to make them feel like they've got one, but that's not enough. You have to come in with your own uniqueness, your own personality. That's just something that the world's never seen before. That's kind of what it's like, that's how unique you are, type of thing. So it's like, oh, like the other people might have heard the angles, the perceptions, even the personalities, but just the way you put it across, so they can relate. But it's just the way you're getting it across, and even might have heard similarities, but like the thing that sums it up, like all the differences, like there's angles in there that get thrown in that, like, oh, that's unique. That's, I like the way that's being said, or presented, or whatever, that makes you unique to the world through your own expressions and that. I think that's like the overall outcome, that um, you have that purpose. But I think you only get it through being broken, or because can't argue with the case that, like, if you've had that really good upbringing, really good parenting, that you could get it that way as well. Like, you've been shown like how to look after yourself. So, like, parents have made you wash up, clean your bed, have a routine, type of thing, can give you a sense of purpose, really. And as you grow up, you might lose it for a bit, you might not. I don't know. It's hard to tell, through a person like that, 'cause that's not my experience. My experiences was I didn't have it to start with, because my parents didn't teach me anything. They just expected me to know, which was a really bad way of being brought up. Because I showed examples all the time. I didn't know a thing. And all I got for it was told off. And then you're expected to know, and it's like, what the hell? So I had to do it the extremely hard way, really. So by the time I got into my like rebellious years, I just didn't give a shit. Um, it worked out really bad for me, because I wasn't schooled, so that meant I had a poor education, which meant I couldn't get a job, which meant I'm in the rat race of living as a freelance, living off other people's taxes, which doesn't shine a good light on you either. Um, and all these like stigmas get you in your middle life crisis as well. When you get to that part of your life, like, it all starts reflecting back on you that, oh, you're not good enough, you haven't done enough. Despite, like, I did go to college and do things, despite like all that stuff, that things I did accomplish, I still had to face all that middle life crisis because of my younger age, not being able to do it. Um, but luckily, because I had been to college, I passed like an English, so I could learn how to read and write properly, spell properly to a better degree than what I was. I'm not perfect still. Um, and then, like, sort of like where I am now, past the midlife crisis, but I'm getting into that point where sort of the older wisdoms, like, oh, well, I'm not got nothing to leave behind, type of thing. So it's still like sort of degradates upon me in a sense as well. I've got no family, no kids, nothing to show for anything that I've done, which is not good either. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy, type of thing. But at the same time, I can look at it in a positive still. I can look at it, and I don't even know if it's like fobbing it off or not, but I don't know what else to do, type of thing. Where I think, oh, well, the universe needs you here still, like this, to express this. Um, like even though it's not my true purpose as such, it's still giving me like a purpose for the time being until the time comes where I can fulfill my true purpose type of thing. Um, because I can't do it in this world the way it is with all the evils that are going on. I know there's always going to be good and evil, but like things have to change drastically, because like if I present anything, it just gets stolen off me. So there's no point in me doing it if it's just going to be stolen away from me for some evil system to use. It's like, what's the point? It's not meant to be used in that way. It shouldn't never be used in that way. So I'm not going to put it out, until that gets sorted. Like, I want to see, like, I suppose it gets talked about in the crypto world, but like I'd like to see it in another way, like in a sense where all your assets are being protected from the government, and any interference, like outside interference, you would be able to see it, and you'd have like a copyright, guaranteed copyright lawfully to your like creations, if you like. Just not just through Bitcoin, but like in a similar sense, like anything that you say, all your unique energy is your sovereign right. So anything that's getting anything from that should have to give you something back. It doesn't have to be money. It just means like, so I feel like, oh, that reflection and purpose of living is beneficial, including all the other people who've given it back also, like type of thing. But I'll never ask for money. I'm not like that. Because I think these things need to be said. That's why I don't put adverts on my YouTube. It wouldn't work in any way because I don't have that many views. But I could do it. I could present things like sort of like them short videos that they put on, and just says something meaningful, stupid, like everybody else does. Like, oh, there's going to be 3D, 5D. Oh, the flat Earth. Oh, there's no space. NASA sent paedophile rockets up your asshole and explode your brain. Oh, and people just jump on it, because that's stupid. And they got that like short attention span and make money, but just can't be bothered because it doesn't get anybody anywhere by doing that. Um, so that's why I don't. It's not even me really. It's not my niche. Even though I could do it, and I could do it in a better way than I just like give you examples of. I could make a comedy of it. Um, but it's just like not worthwhile. Like it doesn't teach anybody anything. So like even though I don't get that many views, it's okay because I think I have cried about it in a sense. Well, not cried, but like mourned on in a sense that like sort of it doesn't really get out there. But at the same time, I didn't really want it to right from the start. I made my own opinion that it should only go out there to the people who need to see it. So if it was just one person, that was enough. But if I kept getting zero views, then I was just going to pack it in. But that's never been the case. I only get one or two videos like that. That's okay, maybe it's not everything's meant to be seen, but at least something is, otherwise I just pack it in and just do something else. Try and learn a better way for myself. How else can I like be myself? Because I can't talk to nobody like this in a sense. It's easy to do it on YouTube. Um, it doesn't matter if anybody understands it or not, type of thing, because you always come across like somebody who'll take a bit away, and that's all that matters. Um, so again, like through all those like facets of long-winded, like sort of personas that showing you tensions through my own expressions, how that can degrade. And that's why I say like I'm back like mourning and whining type of thing. But it doesn't matter. I have to overcome this myself. Um, because I'm not really looking for attention either. Because I know that could be bad as well. But I'd actually be like sort of like panic if like seeing my video like say hit only 1,000 views, which it doesn't sound much because that's why I'm saying only. But to me, it'd be like enormous. And it's like shit. Now you have to like. I think I'd feel like now I have to censor myself even more and say things in a particular way to please the crowd. And I never wanted that. I just want to express myself in my own way, type of thing. So I'm happy. I have to tell myself I'm happy with what I'm getting. Like 4 to 5 to 3 to 2 to 1. Even one view is enough. At least someone's took something away if they've watched the video. And there's no way of telling if they watched the whole thing or not. It doesn't really matter, but you know, um, I guess I'm to my own folly. I take my own videos down to try and keep the channel sort of. I always like believe like if you keep something up and you've said something a certain way and then you change your mind on it, people can hold that against you. So just take everything all down, bring it back up, take it down, bring it back up, take it down, bring it back up. That way people just like flow. Not that I'm trying to like sort of say that I've been this way all my life or that way all my life, and then like take my channel down, come across as someone else type of thing. I'm not really doing it for that. It's just like the case of like sometimes things look plausible. So I'll say things under the bad, like under the impression of what other people have said through like videos I watch like and stuff, and then I'll completely change my mind on it. And doing that and keeping the videos up just creates like a really strange like stigma to me and anyway to just to myself. Never mind what I'm thinking, what my audience might think about it. Um, Anyway, I'm just kind of ranting and raving in a sense. Um, but these are like all the things, like like in the same sense of that facet of creating like imaginings that are distorted because they're not like they're not leading to a purpose. It's just like a wondering if you're like, what if it could be like this? What if it could be like that type of thing? What if it does work? What if it doesn't work? It's always like this what if that's distorted. Well, why don't you just be? And it doesn't matter. Just let it go. As long as you're seeing that there's one view, I think it's okay. Because I was like, well, I said to myself, like right from the very first video that I ever made, didn't matter if you didn't have to like my videos, you don't have to comment on them. As long as I saw that one or two videos were getting one view, that was enough. It was meant to be said, meant to go out there. And I should stick to that. It's like go kick my own self if I don't like that. Because that's my own sort of folly. Like, well, you put it there to start with, so you just have to leave it like that. Um, but I did try, where I put myself out there on someone else's channel, put my channel out there to bring people in. I got 32 views, and all them people just left it anyway. So it was like a pointless video. No, I don't think any of them stayed. Um, but I thought they would, because it's like similar. Obviously, I come from a completely different angle, but I thought like, oh well, they'll understand where I'm coming from. But obviously, they didn't. Um, anyway, we've stopped ranting and raving to make the point of it. Like all these like sort of distortions eventually. Like that are um, conflict with the ego, if you like. make the ego think that it should be putting up with itself, make the ego run away from itself, make the ego hide, make you think that like your ego is a bad thing, even, you know. And I think that's like the worst thing you could do to yourself, you know, like to make once you get to that point of view where you think your ego is a bad thing, you start just silencing in your own self and censoring your own self. Like your persona just runs right down, really. Your characteristics, your behaviors, everything like that just becomes like dry and mundane and boring and everything else. Probably like this video, really, but it kind of has to be long-winded. It has to be said just so you can see all the facets. Um, I can't help but see that the end result of that shutdown is the beginnings of the nothing through, like, obviously through an individual opinion, but I still can't help, even like looking at it from that angle. I see it in many others also, having been through it myself, and I can't help but think, oh well, like that with that happening through, like, let's say 98 or 80%, like it's quite high up there. 80% of the world is going through this, if not more. And because of that being on a big shareware scale now, that facet, that there's nobody's like living their natural nature, their natural purpose, and that's becoming extinct, if you like. Well, it is extinct really, because everyone's just living to get by in a sense. Like it's right. Like the people who might have a purpose might only be right down to 5, 6, 7% of people in the world, just like a handful of people who live in truly by their purpose. But they still might not be dealing with the shadows and things like that. But they just live. At least they got the purpose, you know. Um, I guarantee you one thing: if it happens, right, like truly happens, like everything distorts to the point where it became like a mythological sort of thing going on. All of a sudden, like you just start seeing people disappear from, like, the physical body's gone, if you like. Even like kind of mysterious in a sense, but really it's the nothing that's come in because there's nothing there, and it's just, well, that doesn't exist anymore, and it just disappears, just disperses. Um, if that happens, if that's the case, which I've got like a, like I think like it's definitely a plausible outcome of like the deluge or whatever you want to look at it, the apocalypse or Ragnarok or that sort of end world type of thing. There's only going to be like 3, 4, 5% of people that get through. 10, let's say 10 at the highest, like get through it. But that 10% of people that get through it, I would say like 9.9, if not all of them, really. In my opinion, it'd be all of them. Okay, every single one of them will be have to have gone through it to the point of being absolute broken hearted, lost everything, lost their whole senses in a sense, and just worked back up like from nothing in themselves. They've had to have gone through it. Like sort of a trio in the never-ending story loses his horse. Loses his own companion. He's on his own after that. Um, the guy who reads the book, I forget his name, but the kid who reads the book never had a mother type of thing, so he's already at loss. But he loses other things as well. Um, but I was like, it shows you through that story, and I think it's the same through life. It takes you through that brokenness because facing with your shadow at its ultimate like savagery of tearing you to pieces at this end point, 'cause the nothing's become so like momentated. Um, you have to face it. You've got no choice but to face it. And if you don't, if you haven't already been broken and you just carry on, got the savagery to carry on in any way, you're not getting through this type of thing. Um, so I think that's what it is. This Ragnarok. If it hasn't happened, well, I think it has, but I think it's happened in the past and it'll come again, type of thing. Um, so I think the story of the Ragnarok's happened, if you know what I mean. I don't think that's like something that's up in the future, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went round in a cycle and happened again, and it goes round in a cycle and happens again. Because every time, like society gets caught up in this distortion of expectations, being misled, and all the rest of it, and then just loses its purpose. As soon as it loses its purpose in a vast number, then this other sort of like evilology, if you like. It's not really evil, but it's evil because people allow that to happen to themselves. It's the only thing that's like evil about it, really. Um, that people just lose their senses, and once you can't use your five senses, you have no purpose, and then your spirit just leaves, it just disperses because it's got nothing going on in a dialogue, if you like. There's no like meaning. There's no point. Um, I mean, your own purpose is unique to you. Okay, so I can't say to you like, well, live life this way, live life that way. You're gonna have to find that out for yourself, um, on your own, in a sense. Even if you have partners, loved ones, and all the rest of it, you're still on your own in it, in a way. Especially when like faced with this like momentumous savage shadow just clawing away at every facet to force your hand into dealing with it. Um, while you're going through that, you get so many like stigma paranoias. People looking at you funny. Why are people not accepting what you say? You just get like a feeling that you're being avoided, type of thing. It might not be a case of people talk about behind your back, but you could get them paranoias and all that stuff. But that's not really the facet of it. The facet of it is that you do feel like people that you come across, like as if nature, the great cosmos itself, has set them aside. You cannot face whatever they bring, but it makes you feel like so lonely because you can't talk to nobody, you can't see anyone eye to eye, it won't let you, type of thing. Um, Almost like as if the world's against you, on your own shoulders, type of thing. You're the one in the wrong. It breaks you up like that. Um, and it's only your own purpose, from my own opinion. Like once I sort of discovered my purpose, which I can't live until this is over, type of thing. But I know what it is. So I'm just like creating other like little purposes to try and strive through that momentum of it, till I get there. But like I'm just holding on every single time that anything that tries to sort of make me want to give up or lose hope or anything like that, I just go, no, I'm using this to, and I don't know, I've got to go on because the universe needs me. I can't not be there, you know, because nobody else can do it. I'm the only one that can, type of thing. It's like that type of purpose that you have to come up with on your own. I can't tell you what it is because it's personal. Okay, well, it's not personal, but it's unique to me. So even if I told you, you would never believe it in any way. Um, but it's like you probably come to these things yourself. When you like click, oh, this is my purpose. But if I told anybody, nobody's gonna believe that because it's unique, and because it's unique, and everybody else works on a shareware, and you can't work this purpose on a shareware. No one believes it. because that's how this system works now on that shareware. But it's like in the future, everybody's still going to be shareware consciousness, but everybody's going to be unique. It's like individualism. Um, the way I saw it was like Artemis on her own. She's an artisan, right? Artemis, in a sense. So she has many like traits and tricks and things like that. She's like a hunter. She's a dancer. She's she's bright. She's ongoing, and other little things that she has going for her. Okay, um, but she's the only one that can do it. Even though other people can hunt, other people can have like a bright outcome, like dance and all that type of stuff. Other people could do it, but she's just her own unique way of doing it. Once this thing's over with and she turns up, um, we'll understand like all that uniqueness is to her only, but it'll shine through us also, like through that shareware, bring out our own like personality, if you like. But we'll be doing that also with others and you guys to me, kind of thing. Um, Anyway, I think I should leave the video kind of there 'cause it's an hour and 15 minutes long almost, it's longer than anyway. So, hope you enjoyed that, guys. I know it's just kind of rattling on, really, but it was all to do with that, really, in a way. Even though it's like two different topics, is that like sort of middle ground being pulled away can lead to the nothing, but to save yourself, just to give you an example, don't use the fool card. Look at this one, guys. You already know the path. You've been down it many times before. You fucked up many times before as well. So in the future, you can fuck up, but it doesn't even matter. You're going to get over it. You know what I mean? You act in that wisdom. If you fuck up, you correct your mistakes straight away. You just get over it. Okay, that's nature. Like nature has good and evils within yourself. It's up to you to correct them. Um, and bring back to that middle ground of just tolerating, having the patience to put up with other people who have their own personality traits, and that will prepare you for the future when everyone becomes individually unique. Okay, guys, bye.